Of where the bodies of 5 babies killed almost 100 years ago are buried continues.
Today, the coroner says he is expanding his investigation. Cambria County Coroner Jeff Lees led a team to exhume the bodies of 5 babies killed in the 1920s and 30s by their mother. Their mummified bodies were found in a trunk in Stella Williamson's Gallitzin home in 1980 after her death. Skulls of 2 of the babies were recently found at a museum in Philadelphia and returned to Lee's for burial. But yesterday, the team couldn't find the original remains in a county-owned cemetery.
Lee says they did bury the skulls. He says he wants to find out how the bodies are not where they were supposed to be. Lee's told us using the excuse, "This is how they used to do things," is, quote, unacceptable. Now, WJAC's extensive coverage of the Gallitzin baby murders began with the discovery of the remains back in 1980.
Our former colleague John McClintock tells us he saw the remains himself.
I believe it was a case of getting a phone call from someone who wondered why all the police were in the neighborhood. It was probably the most bizarre I ever covered in news and television. It was a case of the police being at this place and a few neighbors looking on, but there wasn't a crowd or anyone there. We pretty much had it to ourselves at the time. It wasn't allowed in the house, but a few days later I got to see the trunk, and it wasn't a pleasant thing to be around.
You had the opportunity to see the trunk where the babies were found. Did you look inside of the trunk?
Yes, and you could tell outside that there was something in there. It wasn't something you think you could hide for as long as it did, but and of course these were skeletons essentially. They had been in there so long, but they each had these poorly fashioned nooses around their neck, and there was with this the odor that comes with death.
Do you mind me asking, do you recall how you had access to the trunk to be able to even look at it with what would be evidence at that time of a murder?
When you're doing reporting and all in the late 70s and the 80s, it was a different time. Got a tip that the trunk was out at the barracks, the Evansburg State Police Barracks, and the helicopter was there. Covering police as long as I have, you get to know at least some of them pretty well, and I was always on the street. I wasn't very much in the studio at all. And they offered, "You want to see him?" And I didn't know at first. They said, "Well, it's not really that weird." And so someone offered to show them to me. And I was speechless at that point. I don't think anyone can imagine what that looks like. Yeah, I find myself wondering, were there names she wants attached to these, or was it a case of her killing them right away?
Would you like to know where they are?
As a reporter and maybe as a just curious person, I want to know where they are. You know, it's curious, and I think I'll be thinking about it a lot more in years to come.